Hello and welcome to Cobalt Valley. This is Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. Lucian and Petrich Pawn, so about as good as it gets. Both top 10s. Lucian, even though he's back from vacation and says he does make mistakes, he usually doesn't. He's still an extremely good player, going first land with Cybern. Meanwhile, Petrich has really rose through the ranks over the last few months to become one of the top players, playing as Seraphim, but not using the first bomber, going first land, 2 pigeons. The Hydra on this map relatively close, so you may choose to go after it to get that cheaper power in terms of mass, but you do sacrifice a little bit of time. And an early hunter from Lucian, so Lucian is going to go on a raid against Seraphim. You may choose to play a little more defensive and not raid, because you know that Seraphim won't be coming in with those light assault bots. They could be coming in with a bomber, but they won't be coming in with a light assault bot, so you can get more engineers out. But Lucian is going to go on an aggression. The Celine out for Petrich. And in terms of builder, there's a big difference. Pigeons versus Hydra. So Lucian building at the maximum distance using the assist on the engineer. That's one of the things that sometimes people critique this game, is that the engineers they're not automated. That's not really the way they say it. Is that they don't take the most obvious course, but when you learn all the tricks with assisting and when units stop, it's actually really good because you can get full control of what happens. The Celine is going to be in the middle looking for any bombers. It looks like it did not spot this hunter for Lucian. There is an engineer that is a potential target for Lucian's hunter. However, a tank will be moving out. This is the obvious thing to do. Tank plus Celine will cover the back door. The front is somewhat covered by Petrich, although it did let this hunter through. And now this hunter needs to do something. He does not have the benefit of a radar. And 3 shots. And it's over. So very easy. Lucian taking the first loss. This Celine is going to try to get a little more intel. Another possibility for a raid is, of course, through the top. Petrich with second air. Nothing coming out of this factory yet. More pigeons and a whole bunch of land coming up. First 2 land, third air from Lucian. Lucian moving the ACU to the middle. Quite a bit faster than Petrich. And this Celine will be blocking. A mass extractor will be a little bit annoying for Lucian. We got to see Petrich. This is good intel. Plus, scout not coming in. So Lucian here coming up minute 3 will see air. He will anticipate a bomber coming his way. And I also anticipate a bomber being produced. But so much respect given to Lucian. Petrich making an interceptor before Lucian even has a factory finished, and I think the scout will give. Yep, now here comes the bomber. So scout, interceptor, bomber for Petrich. Good intel now though for Petrich. He knows exactly what's going on the map. He knows the position of Lucian's ACU, and this is the annoying bit where this Celine will just be blocking because it does have cloaking and personal stealth. The way to beat it is to give an attack order for either units, either the engineers or your man-time. Here comes the bomber. Petrich will need to make that count. Very even on power. This engineer is a very good target. I think a nice bombing run will be this Engie, and then cutting in to the base, picking off a couple engineers at the base. There is an interceptor for Lucian, and the obvious thing, that engineer is dead. Let's see how many more kills Petrich can get with his bomber. And that was very disappointing. Although a good kill by that interceptor. Only 10th health left on this bomber. Doesn't look like it will get another bombing run in. Some flak from Lucian as well. So as that is happening, we see multiple engagements. Lucian was able to win the one on the left side. On the right, 4 Manta will beat 2 Thams, and problems for Petrich on the right side. That second air versus third land, second air versus third air is not paying off for Petrich, only killing an engineer but now losing land battles. In terms of mass production, nearly even, one more mass extractor for Lucian. And actually Petrich now losing a few more mass extractors to the Manti raids. Only 2 Thams here. They need to come back and regroup because these 4 Manti will dominate. In the middle, very evenly split between these 2 players. A factory for Petrich in the middle. In terms of air, it does look like there are numbers for Petrich, but no more bombers. And this is where micro is quite important, and looks like this tank is shooting at the wrong units. This Manti could have possibly died. And now in this group there are a total of 10 kills between these 4 Manti. 1 Manti dies, actually 2 more Manti are going to run up and create all kinds of problems. So good damage from Lucian. Lucian also running in on the other side. And a couple Thams make it, so problems for Lucian on the left. One thing we got to look for is what will the ACUs do in the middle. But so far, this is really not good for Petrich. Very nice raiding units from Lucian. And this is interesting. Lucian is going to get a point defense up on one of these hills. And this is nice. Whenever you do this, you want to make sure this point defense isn't facing a little rock or something like that. So it's a nice unobstructed path to shoot in the middle. Petrich moving sideways. And looks like here on the back door, Petrich trying to take out a mass extractor, will not be able to do it. Victory for the Manti. And looking at the bases, it's a total of coming up 7th land factory, actually 6th land factory. There is a 7th here. The 7th land factory coming up for Petrich. For Lucian, we see a total of 6 land factories. And we've seen really non-stop battles on the wide areas of this map, with Lucian really using the speed of the Manti to good effect. There's also Medusa in here. The sides have really been denied to Petrich. It's a nice looking point defense here from Lucian. Lucian also grabbing these 2 mass extractors. So Lucian has been ahead by about +4 mass for a little while. And Petrich could get himself in trouble. I think that oops is a strategic oops, trying to get Lucian to attack him a little more. I don't think Lucian... Well, actually, this will be close. If there are more Manti coming in, perhaps Petrich did not know how many Manti were going to go after him. There is a point defense that's going up for Petrich for him to retreat to. These Manti are not doing a good job blocking. They really need to do a better job. Lucian nearly full health. Petrich 3,000. But now, yeah, Lucian will think better of it and will retreat. So this actually turned out to be a good move from Petrich. Killed a whole bunch of Manti. And this could be a bit of a turning point. Although the eco-domination continues by Lucian. Well, how is he making that much mass? Is he reclaiming? Or I don't think he upgraded, but he's raided everything on Petrich's side. Although Petrich not getting significant forces. And interesting, this is a big build capacity build up for Lucian. He's just making engineers out of this first factory. We'll see what he decides to do. That Lucian also significantly ahead on power, actually doubling the power production. And a nice point defense from Petrich. Petrich is one of those players who runs into point defenses. See how many kills this point defense gets, although there is a little bit of arty. But this point defense will do enough damage to this force, which looked quite dangerous, but now it doesn't. Although there is a big reinforcement coming in. Gestures is one unit I'd love to see on this map. It can be very nice for Lucian. And also on these high areas, this whole map is a sort of a valley. But these high areas you can build on, something like cruise missiles. Radar, things like that might be interesting in a later game. As we come up on minute 10, a point defense here getting taken out by Petrich. And some Manti will put an end to that. This is also a tank here taking out radar. And now this is a significant force. With Lushan's point defense taken out, I think Lushan needs to get more units on the left side. And here come the jesters. This might precipitate into an air fight, which Lushan should win. Lushan's still significantly ahead on power. Lushan getting an upgrade. And actually he is got mass problems now. But this is actually not too much of a problem. It's a very good balance together with the power. Actually looking like a really good eco from Lushan. Petrich, meanwhile, also having power problems. And is Petrich thinking about an upgrade or something? Well, why is he power stalling so hard? Lushan with a very good looking economy. He's about to get the gun. Although now this is problems. Petrich getting a victory on the left side, although these units are not going to live for that long. One jester gets taken out. So Petrich sacrificing his air force to take out one of the jesters. This will allow these units to live a little longer. And the micro will be critical for Lushan. He needs to regroup at the right place. He wants to get numbers. And it'll be very close. And actually looks like a counterattack right away for Lushan. Lushan nearly done with his gun upgrade. And Lushan did not have enough forces to stop Petrich's assault, which may result in a significant power loss for Lushan. Another big assault from Petrich on the right side, and Petrich forced to defend on the left. And Lushan here, this is something that is always very difficult when you get units coming in to your base. The first instinct is to send units at that force, but if that force has numbers on you, running in one by one is actually not good defense. You want to give up. You want to decide what you want to give up to the enemy, set up a new front, and build up enough units that you can actually have an even fight. These single units here are not making that big difference. Oh, now this Medusa is a good idea. Actually, Petrich not paying attention is one of the reasons Lushan is able to defend. A lost opportunity there for Petrich. And Jesters, 7 kills on the Jester for Lushan, trying to clean up. And what we've seen so far in this map, it's been very difficult for both players to hold the sides. Actually, neither player holding the sides, and many attacks going wide. In the middle, it's been the battle of the two ACUs, where Petrichin is a huge disadvantage because he lost all that health. Lushan with the gun, not given any respect. He's just running in. But a lot of units coming in now from Petrich, focusing in on Lushan's ACU. Petrich does not want to just feed this gunned ACU. There's more raiding units in the back of Petrich's base. Actually, units in the back of Lushan's base. This problem has not been fixed yet. 7 kill Tham. We'll get a couple more. Lushan really needs to get on that case. Lushan still doubling the power production of Petrich. And now Lushan will get a whole bunch of veterans. He's 14 kills. Petrich 14 kills as well, but very low health. And Petrich now just running in after Lushan's ACU, which is basically full health. So things not looking good for Petrich. Lushan very much in control. And only problems are these groups of units. And it's amazing that Lushan not paying attention. He's just too busy microing his ACU. This is very inexcusable. Huge amounts of kills on these. It's 360 health on that tank. And the couple gestures in the back here should solve the problem. Another big force coming in on the left. As Lushan with 24 kills, looking to take over the middle. And this is something to note. There is a little ramp here, something that I think is often neglected. These are not the only entrances to these high grounds. There's also a little ramp connecting to the middle, so the middle is really open to attacks from all directions. And now this is important. units standing on right before the ledge. And somehow, for people who played Halo, this map reminds me of Halo somehow. I don't understand why. What was it? Some of those ice maps. Lucian 30 kills, Petrich 14. Basically in a state of dying. I think if Lucian is able to win air control here, which might be difficult, he can just build a couple of gestures and end the game. Petrich gets another victory, and now the field is getting built up with a whole bunch of reclaims. Something to note: tech to air from Lucian, making tech to gunships. So once he gets tech to air, an ACU in the middle of the field that has 2,000 health becomes extremely vulnerable. Do we see any tech 2 from Petrich? Petrich not trying to solve his power issue. Lucian actually did lose a significant amount of power to that assault, and another assault coming in. So Petrich continues to fight. Might be Petrick, I don't know. We used to call him Petrich. Lucian. And people definitely should check out his channel. I gotta put that in the description. He has uploaded a couple of videos recently. And with these tech to gunships, it will be so much easier for Lucian to defend against these raids. See the splash on these, especially when units are bunched up close together. Won't be very difficult. And one thing about gunships, the best way to use them is to spread them out all over the field. Although now we're gonna see a big air assault from Petrich. And oh wow, so Lucian not paying attention once again. This is, I gotta say, Lucian not playing as well as maybe we're used to seeing him play. We've been seeing mistakes from him in the back of his base this entire game. This perhaps that this map is a fairly new map. Maybe he's just not used to it. And Petrich with Tech 1 assaults everywhere. He just basically hasn't stopped, as Lucian with a significant reinforcement to his ACU is gonna move. He's gonna move really close to Petrich base, which might force Petrich to retreat and perhaps try to trap Lucian, but that'll be very difficult. A point defense from Lucian. 3 kills. Will force. Actually, let's see. Did this point defense? Yeah, 11 kills. It's a good looking point defense. But air control for Petrich. Lucian splits his forces. He's going to have one go on a raid, although no path to retreat because there is a point defense here. So a mass extractor will be destroyed, but these Manti will be lost eventually. As Lucian throws a whole bunch of units at Petrich's force, which is going to try to go through the back door once again. Another tech to gunship. Although these tech to gunships, as soon as they're seen, should be killed. And I am seeing tech 2, tech to flag, tech to land for Petrich. I'll just call them pawns. Lucian once again with an assault with his ACU. Oh, thinks better of it, retreats. And he might be thinking of ending the game here, minute 17. Petrich has to be very careful. Some bombers coming in, gonna attack Lucian. A nice dodge from Lucian, dodges one of the bombs. Lucian will force the stuck one force back, then will retreat. Try to get Petrich to run into his ACU where he knows he's got him outgunned and has way more health. A little bit of back and forth between these two players. One thing Lucian may choose to do is turn around and put a couple shots on this force from Petrich. Petrich continues to retreat. And I think these bombers, even though they're bombing the ACU, a couple of bombs on Lucian's forces would make a difference. Although Lucian's still, actually at this point, very much in control. Nearly doubling the power production. And a lot of bombers now from Petrich as he is slowly running out of interceptors. I think he's about to lose air air control. There is though some tech to flak, which is something you never want to fly over if you're anybody. Lushan loses a lot of air to that tech to flak. Petrick retreated just enough to stop Lushan from walking in directly into his base, and there is now tech to point defense. So just enough time was bought by Petrick, because now Lushan, if he walks in, he will be in a bit of danger. There's a tech to engineer. Let's see what the plans are. An attack move to reclaim, so a bit disappointing. Let's see if Lushan decides to keep going. Tech to point defense on the ACU is something to respect. But now map control we're seeing definitely in Lushan's favor. Although this point defense is doing a good job, it will be killed. And Ilshavas is something I'd love to see. I think Ilshavas on this map are going to be very effective playing wide. 5 kills in the tech to flak. Lushan retreats with 50 kills, and we gotta say Petrick has actually done a fairly good job of not feeding Lushan's ACU. And now we are seeing Ilshavas. Do we see tech to land yet from Lushan? He's getting tech to power, but I gotta say it's been a bit disappointing. The tech to air with those tech to gunships did play a little defense, but it hasn't been air domination from Lushan. So it just basically kept Lushan at the same position. But some transports now from Lushan. Let's see where these go. As Petrick playing with fire, I think he may have gone a little too far. He needs to retreat in this direction. Petrick with some overcharges, and if Lushan blocks him here, I think a move order with Manta right here, if he would have blocked him, it would have been game over. Actually, it might be game over anyway. Petrick maybe a little bit of dodging, and he will use the terrain. Yes, good move. Petrick survives, although a couple more kills. GGs were thrown out, but this is still not over. Although probably is, but still. And now tech to flak with a couple of tanks roll through. These Ilshavas, as long as they avoid the ACU, they should be in good shape. Petrick 33 kills, and now some gunships on the case. This could be game over now. This will be very difficult to hide. Although, no, that's a tech to engineer. I thought it was tech to flak. And tech to flak is exactly what Petrick needs. And that is not something that he has. The health going down now. And it is now game over. A fairly comfortable victory for Lushan. Hopefully people enjoyed it.